Instructions. Wherever you see a pencil icon, marks where you should write your answers out. Look at the map to answer the following questions. The Civil War, Union versus Confederate States. What side was Texas fighting for? If I look at my map, I can see where the Union is, and I can also see where the Confederacy was. And if I go over here and look down at the corner of my map and look at my key, it tells me what color the Union states are, what color the Confederate states are, and what color the territories are. Question 2 says, look at this graph. Who do you think had a winning advantage in this war? So I click to open my graph so I can see who had the most advantages. Then I go back to my slideshow and I click on my next slide to answer the questions. As you notice, I have my pencil icon here, which means this is the slide I'm going to fill out. Then I'm going to go to my next slide. It says, when you have finished learning each event, answer the following questions. Why was the Union able to defeat the Confederacy? And if the North had so many advantages, then why wasn't the war over sooner? I click on my next slide where I see my pencil icon, and I can finish filling out my sentence starters. The Union was able to beat the Confederacy because, and the war took longer than expected because. After I'm done, I move on to my next slide. It says, why do you think the battles Palmyra Ranch, Galveston, and Sabine Pass fought along the Gulf Coast? If I look at where these are, they are all ports. Think back to what we discussed yesterday and what ports were for and what they do, as well as think back to Scott's Anaconda Plan from yesterday's lesson. Then, on the next slide, where I see my pencil icon, I answer the question, why do you think the battles Palmyra Ranch, Galveston, and Sabine Pass were fought along the Gulf Coast? The reasons these battles were fought along the Gulf Coast was, and I'm going to finish filling out my sentence starter. Then I move down to slide 8. What do you notice about where battles in Texas were located during the Civil War? And why do you think battles were located there? Again, think back to Scott's Anaconda Plan that we discussed yesterday. Then I'm going to my next slide where I see my pencil icon, and I'm going to finish filling out my sentence starters. Now, on the last slide, it says go to this link to read about primary source, map, and answer the questions. Why were the Union troops sent to the Texas coast? Was this Union operation successful? Why or why not? So I'm going to click on my link about defensive versus offensive military strategy, and I'm going to read about it I'm going to read over it. Then I'm going to go back to my slideshow and answer the questions. The Union troops were sent to the Texas coastline because, and I'm going to finish answering the question, was this Union operation successful? Why or why not? So when I go in and I edit this particular sentence starter, I'm going to highlight and hit backspace on whichever word, successful or unsuccessful, that I feel it was, and then answer and give a reason why I thought it was successful or why I thought it was unsuccessful.